6:40 p.m. on Tuesday, October the 28th, 2025. And this is where it's at with Ray Inspired. I stand here looking at a pathway into the forest. And I cannot help but think that I have just been divinely guided into a deep and profound solution to my life, to my way of being. And it has to do with two things: focus and energy. Focus your energy. I've been reading a lot of books lately. I seem to be in a lot of different books, but that's just my way. You may say, Ray, you're not focusing your energy by focusing on one book at a time. But what I've learned is I can be guided into a focused theme across multiple books. And this has happened many times. And I love it when it happens. I'll be reading a page in one book and then reading a page in another. And I started each book at a very different time, sometimes even months apart. Sometimes I haven't opened a particular book for days or weeks. But then I open it and I read something that aligns with and echoes the same theme or idea or deep wisdom present in the other book that I just read. And I can't help but think that I'm being divinely guided by the books I read. Because if God has found one way that works for me, it's books. God knows that when I go on a hunt for books, it is a perfect opportunity to have certain books show up. And don't tell me that books can't just appear out of thin air. That weren't there before, maybe a moment ago. But when I step into the store to look for the book, there it is. And guess what? I know it's for me. Because as soon as I see it, it catches my eye, and then I pick it up, and then I'm like, now I picked it up. There's something here for me. As soon as I touch it, I can tell. And then even more than that, reading the summary of the book, or reading a bit of the first chapter or the end of the book, and especially reading who endorsed the book, well, that's all I need to see, especially if it's endorsed by one of my favorite authors or thinkers. That's a no-brainer for me. I'm getting that book. And I seem to have a certain family of books where the authors endorse one another. And they often share the same sort of wisdom and the same sort of life lessons and spiritual understandings. And I love it. I feel like I'm coming back to something that was a bigger part of my life when I was younger. Reading, writing, creating stories, being inspired by other by listening to other people share their stories, being enchanted by myths, legends, fairy tales, true stories, inspirational stories. I love all of it. And just as I love listening and watching and receiving that inspiration, I also love giving it, putting it together, crafting it, and then sharing it with others. I've had more than one person say to me, and this was a while back when I was more active in creative posting, where I would come up with some creative way to tie in a piece of wisdom with something in nature or a picture that I was posting. And they said to me, "Ray, you're a wordsmith. You have a way with words." And that stuck with me because I was like, well, it just comes to me naturally. I enjoy it. It's something that fuels me and drives me to even talk right now like I'm doing, to record this with 4% battery left, and I'm hoping my phone can last long enough. It fuels me. It's a part of who I am, a part of my being. And who knows? Well, I suppose I know at some deeper level of my beingness just exactly who I am, what sort of being I am, what sort of skills are deeply embedded in my soul, what sort of things I did or was involved in before coming to this earth. Those are those skills for service, crying out in the little clues and signs and signals of each and every day with whoever I see, whatever I read, listen to. Ray, this is who you are. This is mirroring to you who you are. Or perhaps it's mirroring to you something that needs to be looked at or developed, shifted or changed. But they're all parts of who you are. And man, when you keep walking this journey and you understand these things more clearly and you start to become conscious and aware of these things as they happen, well, the whole world just opens right up into a great adventure, a wonder, a miracle of serendipity. That's not the word I wanted, but of now I can't think of the word, but it's the word where something just seems to be way too much of a coincidence to be a coincidence. And if you consider it long enough, you actually created whatever that moment was. And then it showed up. And then you're like, yeah, of course, this isn't a coincidence. There's something deeper going on here. It starts with an S. I can't think of it. I'm sure. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Wow, I got off on a real trail in this forest. off of my initial thought, which was focused energy. I have noticed a lot of, through the feedback and through the mirroring, that where I tend to succeed the most is when my energy is focused on one thing. Where I struggle the most and experience stress and anxiety and performance anxiety and perfectionism is when I'm focusing on too many things at once. And in doing so, I can't fully do any of them well, let alone complete them, because my energy is split up in so many different ways. It's like a bunch of cords coming out of me and plugged into different things. If I were just to plug into the one thing and direct all my energy into that, then what would happen? Well, something similar to the success I've seen in photography in my life. When I'm at a real estate shoot and I just do that, and I go and I do the work and I'm done. What is created is wonderful. It's inspiring. I know it is because people keep telling me that. It's not just me. But it's the product of focused energy. And I'm just thinking now with the book reading. Sure, I may read multiple books at the same time, but that energy is being focused into study. And that intention of study leads to the themes coming up, the common themes, the common threads. And whatever is for me in that moment, that is what's going to shine from the paper. Just as I may read the book a year from now, and something entirely different will come off the page. And I would read over the thing that stood out to me the year before. Interesting how that works, isn't it? The same way you go to a bookstore and pick a book off a shelf. That book is for you in that moment, and that is when you need to read it. I remember reading that somewhere. Not a year later. Now. Read that book now. My problem is, I keep going to places and finding books and getting them. And I can't read them all now. So I'm focusing on the key ones that grab my attention the most. And there I just said another word that's a very common theme and a very important thing to understand is where we put our attention. Attention is synonymous with where we focus our energy. Where are we paying attention? What things are we paying attention to? Whatever we pay attention to, we are giving our energy. It can be as simple as something that we're worrying about. So we're paying attention to the thought that is causing us to worry. And I would say to that, that is misdirected energy or misguided energy. There are much better ways to use that energy than to feed worry with your energy. let the worry be only for a moment, and then shift and direct your energy toward faith, belief, conviction, knowing that things are going to work out, that the plan is good, that this too shall pass. That all seeds must die before new life can come. I don't know if that's related, but that's a deep thought that can be a whole nother talk. This is why, in the books I've been reading lately, what's been popping off the page the most? Anything that talks about being present, being here right now, paying attention to what's going on right now, focusing my attention on the present. So things to do with being present, attention, and then energy, and how we use our energy and where we're directing our energy. Put it all together. The wisdom for me in this moment is, Ray, consider how you are directing your energy in this present moment. Because that is where your personal success, your personal overcoming of the challenge, of the obstacle, of the difficulty lies or lays. Master this one thing, Ray. Your attention, where you put your focus, where you direct your energy, and how much energy you direct, and how focused you become. Master that. And you will have completed your current level in life. And then you will advance to the next stage. But the boss you are facing right now is the boss of focus. Oh, this is good. What do you notice about your literal individual who is in a position to, challenge your level of focus? What do you notice about this person? What is the feedback that they often give you? Ray, just do one thing at a time. You don't need to do everything at once. Because when you do so many things at the same time, the chances of not doing them well are much higher. Focus on one thing and then get that done. And then on the next thing and then get that done. And then after a while, the big list that may have overwhelmed you before, step by step, one thing at a time, is now complete. And it's with your focus and how you use your energy. No, it can't be that simple. No. Oh. Have I ever been stubborn and resistant to this individual and their choice of leading me in this particular environment, I'll call it? How many times I've been frustrated with them, thinking that, if I can just do things the way I'm used to doing them, that are familiar with me. Just let me do that, and I'll be fine. Meanwhile, the divine, through this person, this individual, is trying to slap me around a little bit and say, Ray, learn the lesson here. You are in this place right now. And this is the lesson for you to learn. If you do not learn it here, you will learn it somewhere else. If you learn the lesson here, then I can take you to the next place, the next step. And sure, you may not like it in this place. This particular place happens to be a workplace. You may not like it here. But guess what? You're not going to like it in the next place either. You know why? Because the same lesson is going to come to you there. Focus, Ray. Focus. Learn to master your focus. Learn to master your energy. Wow. Wow. You know why I'm saying wow? Because this applies to the past 12 years, at least, of my life. Like when I was teaching, there were things to pull up my focus. My energy was going everywhere. And guess what happened? I burned out. I burned right out. Physically, even mentally, emotionally, burned out. Strung out. Because I was not a master of my focus or my energy. Which ties into another topic. Oh my goodness. Another big topic that I've been dwelling on for a long time. If you've been listening to my earlier episodes, can you guess what that is? Think of envision what I see right now. The forest is dark. It's in the evening, so it's maybe harder to envision what I'm describing, but where I'm standing right now, there are two paths diverging in a wood. What are the paths delineated by? How can I tell that it is a path? In your mind's eye, what is the only indicator that there is a path there? If these things didn't exist, you wouldn't see the path. The trees. Okay. The trees, in a sense, form a wall on each side of this path. What is another word for wall? A boundary. You following? There are boundaries on either side of this path that focus the one who is walking and moving in the forest along the path. If there were no trees, or if the trees were more sparse, you would walk all over the place. There would be no clear path, which is not helpful when you are trying to reach a certain destination. Sure, you may wander around a lot and see a lot of interesting things, and perhaps that's part of the journey too. Well, that is the journey, is the path itself, not just your destination. The reward is the path. The things you learn along the path. And the destination is just a bonus. Well, the destination is the path, if you get what I'm saying. Because the destination is represented by all the things you learn along the path. If the destination is peace, well, guess what's going to come all along the path? Opportunities to experience peace. Which probably means there's going to be some chaos along your path. And adversity, because it is in those situations we experience peace. You don't know peace until you experience adversity and chaos. Are you sticking with me here? So it is the density of the trees that helps the walker to stay on the path through the forest. And of course, the path itself is a whole nother topic. Because who created the path? Who set up the path? Who knows where that path leads? And this is the point that I'm getting at. The more dense these trees are, the less likely I will be to stray from the path, because I can't. It would be absurd and silly of me to stray from the path, because I would start walking through this forest a lot slower. And I can see the path right beside me. It's really easy to walk on, rather than this thick brush I might be in. Here's the point. The trees help to focus my energy in order to walk the path. Boundaries help to focus my energy as I walk the path. A lack of boundaries leads to unfocused energy and the tendency to walk all over the place and get lost. Are you getting this? Set boundaries in your life. Protect your energy. Take some time in stillness, in meditation and prayer, to receive the clarity you need of your path. Once you have that clarity, set up the boundaries. Those boundaries could be represented with your time. Well, I know how my day usually goes, and I know when I'm usually kind of worn out and I need some rest, so I'm going to set a boundary during the day to rest, because that's going to help me keep walking this path. I cannot walk this path if I am exhausted. So I need to take care of my body and get some rest. And my body will tell me when that needs to happen. It might not be at the same time every day, so I will listen to my body and rest when it's telling me I need to rest. Or to eat. Or drink when it needs that too. So time boundaries. Energy boundaries. Perhaps you need a day, like I've been reading just today. This author suggests a practice where one day a month, whatever day that may be, you do nothing. You are committed to nothing. There are no events, no obligations, no responsibilities. Maybe you fast. Maybe you leave your phone somewhere. And I guess I could have said it better than doing nothing, but you just simplify everything. Maybe you do something like what I'm doing right now, and you spend a good part of the day walking. Just walking. That's it. Nothing else. You just be, exist. Clear your mind. Be still. Allow all the noise and distractions to dissipate. So that the voice can come through, the still small voice. Now you don't have to walk all day long, but maybe a good chunk of the day you walk, and then maybe you go back to your home or your car. But whatever you do, you do very little. You don't watch anything, as in things on your phone, or things on TV, or things in the newspaper. You don't listen to anything. You don't listen to a podcast. You don't listen to music or anything on YouTube or anywhere. Although I might suggest an exception of instrumental music, but nothing with words that can distract you, that can shift your thoughts away. Well, make sure I'm saying this right too. That can distract you with thoughts. You want to become as clear as you can become. Others may use the word empty. Empty yourself, which is where the fasting can come in. Allow your spirit to rise up and your mind to become quiet. Allow what is inside of you to come out and what is outside of you to become dim. Unless, of course, for me, you're walking in nature and something is inspiring. Well, yeah, consider it, ponder it. Be still in that moment and see what what inspiration might be there. Just allow it to come. But there again, this is all the result of a boundary, a very special boundary on your life, on your energy, where you take one day to be with yourself and the divine. Not your partner, not a friend, not nobody. And you just be. Watch what happens. Watch the clarity that comes through, the direction you receive, the inspiration, the idea, the thing that finally becomes clear, the thing that's been nagging at you in the background can now come to the surface and be seen. And so this is the awareness that I'm receiving in this moment. And you know what's interesting? I would argue that I wouldn't have received this awareness had I not gone on a walk, read a book, and put myself in a position to receive inspiration. If I just keep myself busy with the busyness of life, pulling at my energy and my attention, moments like this will become less and less. And I've noticed that of course, I haven't been keeping up with sharing things in the podcast because of what I just said. I think it's as simple as that. I've allowed the busyness of life to interfere with the inspiration that's waiting for me to go on a walk. That's how it works for me. I go on a walk in the forest, I receive inspiration. It's as simple as that. And yes, I can guarantee you, I think, every time without fail, that is what happens. Of course, it helps to be open, to have an open heart and an open mind to receive inspiration, to be in a state of what some call a high vibration, not low vibration. Though I don't doubt that we can receive inspiration even in a state of low vibration, which is to be worrying, perhaps, anxious, stressed about something. I think it takes maybe a little more for that inspiration to come through. But all it really takes is a willingness and an openness, which is a lot easier when you're in a higher state of vibration, which is to be in a state of peace, joy, gratitude, to be in nature. Nature naturally raises our vibration. We breathe the fresh air, our bodies enjoy that. We see things that are inspiring. They lift us up. These things lift us up. That's why getting in nature is so rewarding, because it leads to these moments of inspiration, or simply living life, enjoying life. And so in times like this, I ask myself, well, what's the goal? What's the purpose of this, even recording this? I mean, sure, as a reminder for you, but if you're going to share this with others, what's the intention? Well, as I'm learning and beginning to understand more these days, we are inspired when we hear someone share their story. When we hear them describe what they're going through, hear them describe what they're learning. When we hear them talk about a difficulty they faced and what they learned to overcome that difficulty. We learn and we grow by sharing these things. And I don't need to worry about sharing it the right way, saying all the right things. It's the intention with which I'm doing this, with my heart, which is in this. That's going to speak to somebody. And guess what? It's going to be the somebody that actually listens to this, who is guided to listen to this. Because as obscure and unknown as my podcast currently is, that's not going to limit the divine from guiding the person who needs to hear this to find it and to hear it. And for that, I give glory to God, and I'm grateful for how God works in these mysterious ways, in these wonderful and beautiful ways. So if you're listening to this, well, you were guided to listen to this, because there's something in here for you to grab a hold of, to understand. Maybe something to let go of, something to grab on to. I pray that the mirror that I'm holding up would reflect something to you that is helpful, that is beneficial, that helps you along your path. I pray that for anything that I share. It's God who works through all of this for the good of all involved, whether it challenges them, whether it makes them angry, whether it causes them to doubt or question their beliefs. It's all part of the process. And the sooner we let go of trying to control this process and just allow it to unfold and stop resisting, the sooner we are going to move forward along the path and get out of the brush on the side, trying to make our own way through the forest. No, the path has already been made. And it's there for you to walk it. And if you accept the boundaries that are naturally there to help you walk that path, the walk is going to be a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fulfilling and rewarding. than trying to go through the thick forest where there is no path. Oh, now the stars are coming out. Love it. I love these kind of evenings. It's the fall, there's no snow yet. It's cool, but not too cold. Not for me anyway. And this is right where I love to be. In nature, in the forest, on a bridge, by a creek. In the dark, where it's quiet and still. As I've reflected on before, we can learn from the dark too. Because it's in the dark that we can see the stars shine. That probably sounded really, I don't want to say dumb, but how about this? There are things that we cannot see until it becomes dark. Right? Maybe behavior is leading to destruction in your life or in the lives of those around you, but you're blind to it until things get dark and difficult and chaotic and rock bottom and horrible. Well then, it would seem more often than not, we finally see what's going on. The dark can serve a purpose. It's best not to be afraid of it, to walk through it. And it can be very much better to have someone to walk through it with. Bad grammar, but good point. As a mentor of mine used to say. So there you go. I don't have a list of points for you, a list of steps to focus your energy, to walk the path, because I don't know everything, and you don't know everything. No one knows everything. And if anyone says they have it all figured out, they have it the least figured out. And as I've come to understand, if anyone says they don't have it all figured out, they're a lot closer to having it all figured out. I love paradoxes. They're so fun to play with. I'm just thinking right now, the funny, weird things I can say. Well, life is a paradox. Well, I'm sure it is. I don't understand the meaning of that statement, but I'm sure life is a paradox. It'd be like saying darkness is enlightening, and lightness is endarkening. Or maybe better said, darkness can be enlightening, and lightness can be endarkening. But again, it follows a circle, a cycle. We go through the darkness, we come back into the light. In the light, we may see another shadow that is being cast from the light. So we go to the shadow, back into some sort of darkness, to bring it back into the light, to come back into the light. Cycles of darkness and light. Oh wait, that happens every single day of our lives. With the sun to guide us by day and show us the shadows, and the moon to guide us by night, to show us the things that glow in the darkness, to bring us back to the light of day. Well, there you go. That's a whole lot of insight and wisdom right there, if you listen this far. I managed to keep this phone to 3%. Thank you so much for listening.